Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into what might just be South Asia's next big tech story, Bangladesh. And trust me, the numbers we're about to see, they're pretty staggering.
All right, let's just jump right in with one number, 4 to 5 times. What if I told you that a key industry in a country of over 160 million people is set to multiply its size by 4 or even 5 times in just the next 10 years? That's not just growth, that's a total transformation.
And we're talking about software exports. They're projected to leap from about $500 million today to as much as $2.5 billion by 2035. So yeah, this isn't some slow and steady climb. This is a sector hitting a major turning point. The big question is, why? Let's get into it.
So what's really driving this incredible momentum? Well, it really boils down to 2 key things, people and policies.
When you really dig into it, you find this powerful mix, this kind of perfect combination of 2 core pillars. And it's a really powerful 1-2 punch. First, you've got this incredible demographic advantage, right? A huge pool of young, driven, and cost-effective talent. And then you have a government that's basically rolling out the red carpet for tech investment. You put those 2 together, and you've got the makings of a perfect storm. Okay, let's talk about the people first, because this is huge. Over 60% of the entire country is under the age of 30. Just let that sink in for a second. What that means is you have this massive, adaptable, and naturally tech-savvy workforce ready to go. It's the engine for innovation, and frankly, at a really competitive cost. Now for that second pillar, government policy. And look, the government isn't just sitting on the sidelines here. Not at all. They're actively driving this. The whole digital Bangladesh vision was a massive signal to the rest of the world that the IT sector is a top national priority. They're positioning it as the backbone of the country's entire economic future. And this isn't just talk, right? It's not just some fancy vision statement. We're talking about real, concrete actions. Things like dedicated high-tech parks that come with big tax breaks. They're offering special startup visas to bring in foreign entrepreneurs. There are actual financial incentives for exporting software. And they're pouring money into national programs to build up skills. Every single one of these is a crucial piece of the puzzle for building a thriving tech hub. Okay, so with that foundation in place, let's look ahead. Let's see how all this builds into some really compelling projections for the next 10 years or so. This chart really lays it all out for us. Just look at these numbers. Software exports expected to jump from $500 million to $2.5 billion. The skilled workforce more than doubling. And you can see the innovation is really broadening out, moving beyond just AI and FinTech and getting into things like the Internet of Things and smart city tech. And this bar chart just makes it so visually clear, doesn't it? The blue is where things are around 2025, and the green is the outlook for 2035. I mean, look at that leap. It's across the board, not just exports, but the workforce, the infrastructure. Everything is scaling up massively. Let's just pause on that big number again for a second. $2.5 billion. That's the top-end projection for software exports by 2035. This isn't just a small step up, it's a massive shift that could make Bangladesh a really serious player in the global IT services game. Okay, so with that kind of crazy growth on the horizon, the next question is obvious, right? If you're an investor or an entrepreneur, where do you put your money? Where are the real opportunities? Well, the analysis points to 4 specific areas that are basically screaming for investment right now. First, you've got the foundational stuff, cloud computing and data centers. Then there's the fintech and digital payment scene, which is absolutely booming. Of course, there's AI and software development. And finally, even the physical spaces, the startup hubs and innovation parks. But, let's be realistic. This kind of explosive growth is never a perfectly smooth ride. Any smart strategy has to look at the potential bumps in the road. But what's really encouraging is how they're tackling this head-on. They're not ignoring the potential challenges, whether it's talent gaps, infrastructure needs, or policy tweaks. As you can see here, for every potential problem, there's a solution that's already being worked on. That, right there, is the sign of an ecosystem that's really starting to mature. And this quote really just sums it all up, doesn't it? When you combine that youthful energy, the strong government backing, and this realistic approach to solving problems, well, that's what makes the whole thing so compelling. The path forward isn't just a dream, they're actively paving it. So I'll leave you with this final thought. The global tech map is always changing, right? Companies are constantly looking for the next hotbed of talent and innovation. And right now, Bangladesh is making a very, very strong case for itself. The question really isn't if it's going to grow, it's just how high it's going to fly.